Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to a new episode 13. I'm joined by my co-host Max.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Millie Max, Maxi Millie.
And today we got Choyas in the house for the second time, our most recurring guest.
Let's go.
Most popular.
I'm happy.
Most demanded.
I'm happy about that.
Dude, when was the last time we did this? It was more than a month ago, right?
Yeah.
2 months?
It's been like two maybe even 3.
Yeah, I feel like 3.
Probably closer to 3.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Choyas does have a big announcement for us today, guys.
We're going straight into it.
Yeah, I kind of want to get straight into it, but I don't know if you had anything else, Isaac.
No, I mean, it sounds like you really want to know what Choyas has.
I'm a little bit nervous. I mean, Choyas came in. We were talking about the topics for today's episode, and he said, I have a big announcement.
It's big. It's a biggie.
Do you want to get into it or do you want to wait? And do you want to warm up?
Nah, let's just get into it because I don't want to hype it up too much either.
Okay. That is classic Choyas. That is classic Choyas.
All right, so I will say this is something that we did speak about last time.
Okay. So it's a follow-up.
It's a little follow-up.
Okay.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
I started a gaming YouTube channel.
Wow.
By yourself?
By myself.
Wow.
When did this happen, bro?
It's probably been like a month.
What? No promo?
I tweeted it one time. Just one.
And I blew up.
No, I haven't blown up or anything like that. So that's why I wanted to see what you guys think about it. But
Yeah.
I'm like,
That's dope. On Kick?
and I do actually live stream it too. So I live stream my gameplay,
Oh, shit.
and then
Are you on the camera? Are you in the camera?
I am not in the camera. So it's just the gameplay. But I am I'm commentary or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Start. It's a start. So, because I remember we talked about that last time, and I was like, bro, I just need to do it. I just need to fucking do it. Because, I mean, I play games all the time.
Yeah.
It's something that I've always thought about. Like, I'm just going to do it. Because, I mean, why not? And I started it, and I'm honestly like 20 episodes deep, on my Let's Play of a certain game.
So are you on Twitch?
No, I'm just strictly focusing on YouTube.
Oh, okay. You said YouTube gaming channel. Okay, so are you live streaming all the time? Like those 20 episodes are live streamed?
They are all live streamed.
And they just get uploaded after and they stay forever.
And I shorten them down as much as possible.
To the good parts?
To the good part, no, well, I try to cut out all the bad parts or if there's nothing really going on. But at the same time, with what I'm going for, I'm trying to go for a Let's Play channel so they can follow my whole journey, I guess, yeah. So I still have to keep a good amount in it. Yeah. But it's kind of it's the type of YouTube videos that I watch when I go watch gaming videos. Yeah. So I'm like, that's what I would want to do. So I'm just gonna do that.
So when we did the podcast about
dope.
a month and a half, almost 2 months ago, how long did it take you to start that? And well, I know you mentioned that after the episode, you just thought, dude, why not? I just need to do it, right? But what was that process like leading up to doing it for the first time?
So obviously, it probably took me a month, close to a month, maybe shorter than that. What really committed me to doing it was buying the actual what is it called? It's what I use to record my gameplay. I forget what it's called. I'm screen recorder or something like that. Yeah. Game capture, that's what it's called. It's a game capture device. And once I bought that, I was like, well, I wasted if I don't use it, I would have wasted $150 on this device, and I'm like, I got to do it. I have to. I bought it. I have to do it.
So it took you about a month to do to get that thing.
Yeah, I would probably say so. It was in my mind, and then I started to research the best game capture devices for so and so, and yeah, I would say it came in right at Amazon, right away. So I started testing right away. I'm like, let me test out the audio, let me test out editing. Yeah. And before I actually did it. And honestly, I was a little obsessed with that, like getting it perfect, like testing it out, and I was like, no, nah, this is too much. Like I've wasted too much time like on this now. Like I just gotta fucking do it because honestly, like it's gonna be my first videos. No one's gonna watch anyway. That's what I was thinking. Like I'm like, either way, it's not gonna be perfect. Like no matter what, so I can just keep improving on it as I keep going.
Yeah, that's the same attitude that I think we've had with the podcast. Just not trying to make it perfect, still trying to make
each
good
episode better
and each episode better because you want to get better. What games do you play?
So right now I'm mainly just focusing on one game. It's Zelda. I don't know if you've heard of it or not, but it's Zelda, and there's like it's a newish game. It's probably like 2 months old now. It's just a very long game though. So like that's like I've been just mainly focusing on that because I could record like anything, right? Like FIFA gameplay, anything that I play. But when I was like doing research, a lot of people say like you should just honestly stick with one type of game first, and rather than like bouncing all over the place, like create a niche for that game first, and then like so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do like one game, focus on one game at a time, and then eventually.
I'm assuming that game is I mean, I know Zelda and I know it's popular, but is that game popular right now?
Yeah, it's super popular. I mean, it was probably way more popular like a month ago, but I mean, I can't play that much. But
how often are you going live right now?
It all depends. I took like a week like a week to 2 weeks off now.
Oh shit, why?
Dude, it's just a lot. Like, well, it's already like changed my perspective a little bit on it because like it's so different playing the video game for pleasure, leisure, whatever, and then changing that and having like knowing you're recording content for your channel. Like it adds like a little bit, I don't know if pressure is the right word, but like it changes it from like just completely leisure to like there's a little extra. You got to try a little bit. You got to, I got to talk. I have to talk. That's a big one. Like I have to like, bro, that took me a while to get used to.
Like how many episodes?
I'm like 25 episodes.
Oh wow.
But how many episodes did it take where you were like, fuck, I feel comfortable talking at least to a certain level?
I would say 5 to 10.
5 to 10?
Yeah, 5 to 10. Like I always just felt like I had to like keep talking the whole time. Now I'm just like, honestly, if I don't have anything to say, I'm just gonna go and maybe I can just edit that.
You were like talking the whole time at first?
At first I was like, yeah, like what am I gonna say? I have to keep it going. But like honestly, I'm just like, no, like that, maybe I even think like, I feel like that's not even what I would want to see myself. Like if I'm looking at gaming.
Okay.
Like I'm not necessarily looking for like someone that's just talking the whole time. And also on top of that, like I watched hella people like playing Zelda. And dude, honestly, like a lot of them are like annoying. Like they're too loud, and I don't like that. Like it's almost as if they're trying to make a lot of noise to like get people's attention.
Yeah.
But I honestly just can't fake it. So like I'm just like talking
cool,
more calm. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But you're funny.
Yeah, I mean if there's something funny, then yes, I'll try to.
Now, is this always by yourself? I know you said that it is by yourself, but when you're playing, is it always by yourself, or do you play with other people and record you two playing together? How does that work?
No, it's just by myself.
It's just strictly yourself. But could you add like someone? Because I know you play with other people.
I could play. Yeah, I play with friends like Kyle. And I could if he was down. Like yeah, I could. I don't know if that's what I want to do though. Like I kind of like just like by myself.
By yourself.
How many views are you getting?
On average, I would say like 20, and then my most viewed is probably like close to 60.
Okay. Why do you think that one was your most viewed?
Dude, I question that all the time because I was like, Jenna, it's pop. Like I was like, this video is blowing up. Like I'm averaging.
Like in the moment.
In the moment.
Was she there?
She was, yeah, because I was like, Jenna, like I'm averaging like a view an hour, like, and this was like over the course of a week. Like it seemed like that video just kept going up and up, and I was thinking, I even thought to myself like, this is it, like I'm gonna start averaging 50 people in it, but that's not the case. I don't know I don't know if it was just like a certain area that I was in the game that because I can think of like certain areas in the game that I would want to look up, like bosses or like, you know, like certain puzzles maybe and stuff like that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that more people would look up. So I don't know if that's what it was, but yeah.
So you said you've been off for a week or two. Do you plan on starting again or?
Yeah. I just felt like I needed that reset because, like I said, like I also have stuff to do. Like that's the other thing about this. Like this is more. I feel like right now I am treating it more like a hobby.
Yeah.
Because I mean it's not like I'm making money or anything off of this. So like I have to prioritize some other things too.
Yeah.
So like I just can't always do it. But every time I do it, I do it like an hour, something like that, like an hour of playing, and then that's kind of like the most that I can do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so before I went on that break of like a week or two, I was doing it probably like every other day. If I'm really in the zone, like daily for a week. It all really just depends, like how busy I am. Because like I said, I'm kind of treating it more like a hobby.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the reason why, to fill you guys in, the reason why it's such a big deal is because two things. One, the last episode that we had with Choyas, we talked about this and we brought it up to him. And secondly, obviously he did it. And secondly, because we've known Choyas for a long time now, and we always knew that he loved video games, and we always tried to push him in that direction. Obviously his interests, he had many interests, but we always thought he was funny. We always thought he loved video games, so we always kind of nudged him in that direction. But for the people that don't know, that's why it's such a big deal that Choyas is finally doing it. But I'm happy for you, dude. I think it's definitely a skill that you learn so much, right, about yourself, and going through the process of figuring out the tech needed to get it started, the voiceover, knowing how to talk in front of the camera. I mean, eventually maybe you'll show your face, because there's people that do that, right? I think that's when you add can add more sauce.
Yeah.
And then you being funny, I think that you can add that touch. So I'm happy for you, bro. I think that's a good step in trying something new.
Yeah, thank you. Choyas Gaming.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that. So Choyas Gaming on YouTube. Choyas Gaming. He kept Choyas in the name.
I was thinking, I'm like, bro, I just feel like I have to keep it. Like
Choyas Gaming. That's cool. Choyas Gaming. Are you gonna start promoting it a little bit more?
I will at some point.
Dude, I'd never seen anything.
I know. I literally just mentioned it like one time. Yeah, that was it.
It was on Twitter.
It was on Twitter. Yeah, or X.
Yeah. But I think it's a good transition, because you mentioned that you have other priorities, and I know that in our last episode we also talked about how you were interested in finding another job and starting to apply, and we talked about how Headspace sort of fell through. Have you been are you still working at the same spot, or where's that at?
I am still working at the same spot, so still haven't got a new job, unfortunately. But I am working on it. There's a lot. I've applied to hella places. I have at least I know I am trying.
How do you apply?
The two main things that I'm using right now is I kind of just bounce off Indeed and LinkedIn. Indeed and LinkedIn. And then I even have a whole spreadsheet. I create a spreadsheet for job applications, so that way I can track all the jobs that I've applied to probably 40 to 50 of at least what I'm trying to get, because I could keep applying to web developer stuff, but I'm trying. Did I mention this last time that I was trying to transition into a different type of
IT? You said
IT, yeah. So I'm doing this course, and so that's some of the stuff that I have to balance it out with I have to put in hours into the course to get the certificate so that it looks better on my resume.
One thing that I would say in terms of finding a job, I feel like this would help you a lot, is working with the employment agency.
Someone that actually works to get you a job.
Yeah. And they're also working with companies. I remember when I got my job with Prospect Bacon, it was the employment agency that contacted me because they were hiring on behalf of PB, Prospect Bacon. And then so all the resumes got to them, but I remember that they really liked my resume, and she was literally like, hey, I have like several companies that could fit to your style. Like, if you don't like this one, I can get you in this one. Like, she was really just wanting to help me out. Right. And she saw me as a good candidate that could fit in multiple companies. And she worked for multiple companies as a contractor. So she was like giving me options like, hey, and it's like almost, it's not guaranteed, because then they'll like recommend you, and then you still have to go through the hiring process with them. Yeah. But they're gonna get the foot in the door for you, you know?
That's a good idea. I honestly haven't even thought about that. I've just been literally just going through Indeed and LinkedIn.
So you applied to a lot of jobs. Do they fall through? It's just not the right fit, or
they don't even contact you?
I would say the majority is they don't even contact me. And then, I mean, I've had some interviews, and dude, it's so weird. Interviews, and maybe you guys know as business owners, I don't know how you guys view it, but like, bro, every single time I interview, I'm always like, this is it. Like, they love me. It seems like they love me. Like, they vibe with me. We're smiling, you know, we're having good conversations, like not even about the job. Yeah, and then at the end, it's just like, damn, like, no, they decided not to go with me. And I know there's like, I mean, there's probably a hell of people like trying to get the same position. And like my friend, who's actually, I spoke to him recently, and he went to the same school as me, and he actually did informatics as well. And he's also trying to get an IT type of job. And he told me that he has like the LinkedIn Pro version. I don't have that. And I guess with that version, you can actually see other candidates, like other people who have been applying to that position. And he tells me like, bro, I'm applying to these like entry level jobs, and there's people with like master's degrees like applying for them. And he's like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to like land this role if there's people with like way more experience going for jobs that aren't like seem for entry level. Yeah. So it's like, damn, bro, huh? It's super competitive, and I just feel like I just need someone to give me that chance. That's all it is, really. Like, I just someone that is willing to take
And when you do the interviews, for example, in our case, we're a small business, right? You're for the most part, we're still interviewing applicants. Are you getting interviews with the owners or like HR or?
It's mainly HR first, okay. And then usually I go into like a second interview. Dude, interviews now are like 3 steps. It's like 3 interviews.
Yeah. Well, the way that I do it, and I think Max too, I text them. Like, I just text them, trying to see how well they structure text message, how responsive they are. And then if I get a good vibe, I tell them, hey, let me get on a call with you, or let me FaceTime you. And once we do that, then I invite them to come to the shop and get interviewed by Sebastian. And then at the very end, I do another call with them. If I did a call the first time and I didn't see him in person because I wasn't at the shop, the second call, I do a FaceTime to see them face to face. So it's a good 3 to 4 step process to hire someone, even in a small business.
It's pretty. I actually have an interview on Monday, but I do have an interview on Monday. But yeah, man, it's tough. There's a lot of people fighting for these spots, I feel.
How do candidates stand out to you? You know, because obviously we're getting a lot of applicants too. Yeah. So how does someone stand out to you?
The resume is a huge. Yeah, for example, I like that you're taking the certificate. You're trying to get the certificate, and definitely when I see applicants that have a very simple resume with not much experience in what I'm trying to do. And obviously there's positions where I'm looking for just someone that, okay, I already have 2 great mechanics. Maybe I'm just looking for someone that I can train my way, right? But if I'm looking for that managerial position, someone to be the right-hand man of a manager, I'm looking for a detailed resume with a lot of experience. So it depends on the position, but definitely to stand out, I think a good resume is is key, and also tailoring it to the business, because most of the time people just have a one resume, right, and upload it to for everything, for every business, for every job. And I think when you stand out is when you try to tailor it to what you're looking for, what you're applying for. And I've seen how people have done that sometimes. I've gotten applications for the bike mechanic position where at the very top in the header they do put, oh, I've worked at this many bike shops, I know how to do these repairs, and here's my resume.
Right there, what you just said about the specifics on the resume, I feel like maybe that's where it could be affecting you, because you're applying for IT, right? Yeah. Which is kind of different than web development. So I feel like, again, if we're hiring someone, you know, and you see someone with different skills, exactly, and you're looking for something specific, and you could bridge it, but it's not ideal. And when you have so many candidates that, because you know, we get sometimes, you know, as I'm getting applications, there are some candidates where I'm like, I can kind of work with it, but I'm gonna wait for the person that meets exactly what I'm looking for. You know, because there's gonna be someone who is perfect for that position, who's willing to take that pay, who's gonna be motivated for that pay and for that position, and it's just waiting for the right one. So if you're not aligning with the company right there, then I feel like that's where a lot of the, we're not even gonna take the time to, because there'll be applications that I get that I'm just like 2 seconds it's done, you know, like in the trash.
No, I totally agree about like tailoring your resume, and I actually did switch it up. So I technically have like my web developer resume now, and then I'm like, I have to change this because this is like all web stuff, right? So I did change it, and I have like my IT resume now, and maybe I'll show you guys after, like at some point, and maybe see what you guys think. But I try, like, you know, I put in, I troubleshoot, you know, I'm very, I don't know, expert. I don't know if I want to say I'm an expert at troubleshooting, but I mean, I troubleshoot all these website things all the time. Like if a website goes down, I have to look into what could it be. Could it be that it's just not pointed correctly? You know, I have to look into this stuff. So like I try to tie it in, not like web development, but rather than like, I'm trying to show that like I have to maintain all these websites. Like I maintain like over 200 websites that I have to make sure like are always up and running and stuff like that. More about maintaining and troubleshooting and customer service, rather than like my actual web development skills. But maybe I'll show it to you.
And so when you reach out to these companies, you're also just reaching out to them, and that's it, like your resume, that's it, that's the only point of contact that you make to them?
I mean, most of the time what I do is, let's say if I find a position, the number one thing I do after that is, rather than applying straight through Indeed or straight through LinkedIn, is I go to the actual like website and see if they have like a careers page, and just apply straight through them rather than through Indeed. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, honestly, but
I don't think it does make a difference, because at the end of the day, if I'm hiring people, I might have posts in different locations, you know, and I'm gonna be looking at both. I think you just have to get creative when it comes to applying. I remember when I was looking for a social media influencer, you know, I was getting a bunch, bro. I remember that when I applied for this position, bro, I got so many, bro. It was crazy. But there was this one guy who got me to meet with him as soon as possible, because he reached out to me on Instagram, you know, so he made that direct contact with me, and everybody else was like the resumes being sent to me. So then I had to, you know, follow up with them on email and stuff like that. But I think my advice would be reach out to them directly, find their email or something. And also, dude, I would create like a little video for them. Like I would drop a video. Here's why I want to work with you guys. Identify the things that are important to the company. Boom, boom, boom. This is what I could do, and this is what I'm willing to do. And I would even do, if you really want a specific job, it's like, fuck, I don't know if this is the best advice, but if you really want a job, it's like, you take a little bit less than what they're offering.
Yeah.
It just depends how desperate you are. All right, but I don't know. I'm not really in the job advice right now, so maybe I'm just speaking out of my ass here. Let's move on.
Some good points.
Let's move on to another subject. But obviously, happy for you, Choyas. Hopefully, you. At the end of the day, you just gotta stand out, bro. I'm telling you. So, and the gaming is fucking dope too. So let me just last question.
Yeah.
And real quick. So what's your goal with gaming? Because I wanted to ask that so bad. I wanted to ask that so bad.
So right now, like I said, it's a hobby, right?
Right.
My goal right now is honestly, I want to be able to put more effort into it. Like you said, share more.
Yeah.
Really, like right now, I feel like all I have time for is just turn on the live stream, record, and my editing process doesn't take up too much time either. So like the way I'm doing it, it doesn't take too long to edit it. So like it makes it easy for me. But I think the next step for that is I want to put more effort in it. Maybe.
I think that's what the shorts will be definitely key.
Yeah.
I think that's what the shorts will.
That's where my mind went too.
Well, yeah, shorts.
That's where my mind went too.
Yeah, so I want to do that, but like I just don't feel like I have the time right now because like I'm focusing on applying. I'm focusing on the course. Right. I'm a best man, so I have to focus on that too for a wedding. So it's just a lot on my plate right now. But yeah, that would say that.
I have a topic.
Okay.
Dude, I fucking dig that shirt so much.
Thank you, bro.
What's the story behind that one?
The story behind this one, real quick. I was in Mexico. One of my grandpa's cousin, Nacho.
You know that
Nacho.
shirt is legendary, dude. If it comes from a grandpa's
Grandpa's
named
cousin. Nacho. I get to my grandpa's house one day and he's there. It's the first time I meet him and he's like, come, let me show you around. Let me show you my apartment. He had like 2 places, like one there in Apan. Which, did you know that he goes to Apan?
You go to Apan?
That's
to
where
visit?
his family is from.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
Bro,
You guys should link up.
We can go together.
Link up in Apan?
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. But anyways, yeah, he takes us to his apartment and he has like a bunch of shirts. He took me because he wanted to show me how we got some shirts signed by the team and this and that. And then he brought out a bunch of shirts and he's like, pick one.
Oh, really? He allowed you to choose.
Yeah, he allowed me to. He's
Was it a difficult choice? Was there another one that was?
Nah,
fire?
this one was clear.
Yeah, bro, that one's super clean.
Unique, dude.
I wanted to always get like a retro, so this is like the retro one, and then it has Brailovsky 23 in the back. So Jordan, I was kind of going through my Jordan era too. So I was like 23 Brailovsky, which is like a legendary America soccer player, and then also the blue, white, and red representing the U.S.
Yeah,
It's like
so
it's
many
like
elements
a mixture.
to it.
Yeah, it has so many elements to it that I was like, damn.
Well, the reason why I bring this up is because I want to talk about the Leagues Cup. And, dude, this is the first time where I really feel so defeated, dude, about America. And finally got to share the pain that Max has been feeling for a few years now, going without any sort of championship. And, dude, I just can't believe that America lost that way. We were watching the game, bro, and I felt like I was in a simulation. I felt like the game. You
Yeah,
know what
bro.
happened, right? The game. You.
So let's explain what happened.
Yeah, so really quick,
Let's explain what happened.
can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game, but it popped up on my Twitter like feed or something, and it was I think it was trending.
Probably.
It was probably trending, and I clicked on it, and I was like, "What's going on with America?" And I saw what happened, bro, and I instantly thought of you.
Right, of course.
I was like, Max is probably pissed right now. He's probably like,
Bro, I have a couple of videos where we thought the game was over. We were celebrating, dude. I remember Max and I were watching the PKs, and Malagon blocked that last PK, and dude, Max and I hugged. We were like, "Fuck yeah, bro!" Just jumping, dude, so excited, screaming. And then all of a sudden, the commentators start saying, "Se va a repetir, se va a repetir."
They start saying how fans are in the field.
Yeah, first they start saying,
Yeah, like fans started like rushing the field, and then they started saying like, "Como que se va a repetir?" Yeah, and he says that, and I'm just like, nah, like we were pissed at the commentators because we were like, they're probably just saying stupid shit, you know, because how are they gonna do that? Like they're rushing the field, they blew the whistle, he stopped it and everything, and I was like, no way, bro, I can't believe that,
dude.
They're really gonna repeat that.
I felt like it was done, dude. My night was made. I had believed that, okay, we're going to the next game. That's amazing. And
potential Miami, America
we
final.
were looking forward to that, dude. I told Max, dude, if America plays Inter Miami in the final, dude, that would be crazy.
It would have been a good test for Messi. Yeah, it would have been it would have just been a very good game to see from all angles. And obviously it ended in that way. And I told Isaac that I'm at a point where I'm very close to not supporting, bro.
Wow.
It's just at that point, Choyas, where the team has everything necessary to be champions every single time. And because of one critical mistake from, it could be a new player that's on the come up, or an experienced player, or the refs, or there's always something, bro. The coach. There's always one specific mistake that's made, and I just don't understand. I remember when we would play finals as kids, you know, y nuestros entrenadores, they would always be like, concentrados, every single minute, concentrated, you know, don't lose focus. And I remember they would tell us that growing up. And so when I see these guys make mistakes at that level, when you know that you just can't make those mistakes, I'm just at that point where I just don't feel the institution, America, they're not telling their players that, bro, because it just keeps happening, bro. Like, someone keeps messing up. And so it's very sad to see, but regardless, going back to the Leagues Cup, it has been a pretty good cup. I've been enjoying it, but I do feel the pain of the Mexican teams, because I don't know if you've heard that they're saying that it's rigged and it's...
They're saying that?
Yeah, you haven't heard that?
I didn't know that they're actually saying that.
Well, the Mexican press is, you know, more so saying that it's rigged, and they're just saying how unjust it is for the Mexican teams because they have to travel so much. And, you know, obviously all the games are here in the U.S., so, you know,
I kind of see that part.
There's definitely a lot of advantage to the MLS teams, and just from the logistics part, you know, because I remember when we would play soccer back in the day, traveling, remember?
Yeah.
Like Goshen College.
It adds for sure.
It breaks you down, man. Just, you know, the game, the travel. And so these guys are getting on planes constantly, you know, travel from city to city. In Mexico, the U.S. is big, you know, so traveling from city to city is very, very difficult. They were talking about how Monterrey, they were in Texas, and they've been traveling all over already, but they were in Texas. They played the last game. They had to fly to LA today, and then if they make it, then they'd have to fly to Miami on top of all the traveling they have already done, you know. So I do see it hard for the Mexican teams, and obviously too, the Mexican league has just started, and the MLS has been going. So the teams are just more in rhythm, you know, game match ready. And the Liga MX, they had barely started for like three jornadas.
Wow, Choyas, have you been enjoying the cup? Have you been enjoying the cup?
I've been enjoying.
Bro, the Messi effect, bro. I want to talk about the Messi effect, dude. I think that on a macro level, what it did, dude, to this moment right now. Everyone tuning in, Inter Miami, Messi's here, watching Leagues Cup, the Messi effect, bro. It was just insane.
So the first little run, I think, was the fact that the first viral moment, I think, was him going into the field and getting captured, going into the field, and Serena Williams and LeBron James, Kim Kardashian, and maybe someone else was in the background taking pics of him going into the stadium. I feel like that was the first little viral moment that everybody was thinking, damn, this is something
big.
special. Thinking, damn, this is something special.
Yeah.
Did he score?
To my máquina.
He did score last minute.
Yeah, the free kick.
Okay, I didn't really pay attention to that game. Okay, I didn't really pay attention to that game.
That was like, what can you say, bro? Like scripted, or
I will say that was not a foul.
Yeah, I don't think that was.
That was not a foul.
I don't think that was a foul.
I can see that. I can see that. Yeah.
That was not a foul.
Yeah. I don't think it was a foul either, but it's just.
But it's Messi.
If it's Messi, yeah, refs are gonna go in his favor, and bro, just on his day.
What else has stuck to you from that Messi mania? What sticks out to you?
Yeah, just the influence that a player like Messi can have on a national level, dude. I mean, when I look at, I know I'm living here in the U.S., but I explained this to Max. You know how Ronaldo went to Saudi, right? Yeah. And maybe the people there feel it more, of course. But I think that even on an international level, people from all over the world are tuning in to watch the Leagues Cup. Or the world are tuning. And when obviously you combine the Mexican team, and as fanatics that we are of soccer, we're going to tune in. But I explained to Max, dude, we didn't want to watch, or we didn't make the effort to watch Cristiano Ronaldo, right? Like the cup over there and the league, and I don't really keep up with it. I think that I see a lot of thumbnails from Ronaldo when he scores and wins. But the way that they structured everything, and not just Messi, but everyone has done their part to promote this as much as possible. And I love business, right? So I'm always thinking about, dude, how much money and like how was the deal and who like pitched in to make this happen? How much I'm thinking about how many subscriptions to Apple TV, right? I love that aspect of it, and I love investigating, dude, what went down to make this happen? And then I just think about how good it must feel for someone like Beckham, right? To make this. How good it must feel for someone like Beckham. For the city of Miami. I don't know, bro. I'm fascinated by it, and that makes me be like, I want to make moves like that. You know, I want to be able to just make a move like that to that level, if I'm able to. But it just excites me, dude. The impact that it had on a national and even international level.
Dude, I gotta say something. I would say, like, now I'm literally typing in Inter Miami. I think I have a tab open on Google, like Inter Miami, like their schedule, to know like when are they gonna play. Yeah. And maybe I'm not gonna catch every game, but like at least I know in the back of my mind, like let me check if Messi scored yet. You know. Yeah. And also, honestly, me personally, I feel like I'm gonna be tuning more into like Messi playing with Inter Miami than he was when he was playing with PSG. Like I wasn't even look.
Wasn't interesting to me either.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand how much people are also being interested in the MLS, because it is you weren't interested in watching him in France, so I wonder.
You think that it's the league?
Yeah, I do feel like it's the league, because even, for example, me, I'm not the biggest Messi fan either, but do I really want to see FC Barca with Messi play against Cadiz?
Right.
So I'm just thinking people, in Europe mainly,
yeah,
or the outer parts of the US and Mexico, because we're the most linked, but the outside of US and Mexico, how interested are they gonna be to watch Inter Miami, Seattle Sounders, Inter Miami, Charlotte, I do wonder what that is, but
Yeah, I mean, it's just messy, bro. I just feel like everyone needs to know. Like, I tune in on like soccer analysts, and I see them talking about the MLS and Messi, when I feel like before there's no way they were talking about the MLS. They were just focusing on the Europe top 5 leagues, you know.
Yeah.
But now, every time Messi does something, they have to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you have to say something that Messi is the GOAT, or he's just a.
I'm very curious as to how this is going to develop once the MLS really kicks in, because right now I do feel with the Leagues Cup, it's a very exciting cup because you got the Mexican teams, you know, you got it's an elimination tournament, you got PKs. So it's a very intense tournament where they're trying to get to a final. Yeah. And, you know, once the season starts and it's just a week by week, you know, out of the 3 points and stuff, I do wonder if it's going to still carry this momentum between us, between the other fans. I'm sure we'll continue to see the highlights and everything on shorts, and I think that will continue to stay alive. And then once playoffs comes, you know, obviously people will tune in because now it's a direct elimination and stuff like that. But I do wonder once it's just that regular season, how much mania there will still be. But I do sense, last thing I'll say in regards to this is, I do sense the feeling in the stadium in Miami. Mm-hmm. I feel it, bro. I do feel that the city is so happy, and I think every game big celebrities go. It kind of reminds me of what happens here when you go to a Lakers game. When you go to a Lakers game, you know you're going to see celebrities want to come see LeBron James, you know, back in the day, Kobe Bryant. And yeah, a lot of celebrities go to Miami, and now the thing to do in Miami is go watch Messi play, you know?
Yeah. I want to respond to what you said. I think that the MLS will definitely take a drop in viewership. At least in my case, you have the people that I will watch when Messi Inter Miami plays a good team, right? If they play like Galaxy, right? If they play once they get to the playoffs. But definitely not. It's such an intense tournament, like you said, with a lot of good moments. The PKs, they go straight into PKs. That's always so exciting. And then the elimination part really takes it up a notch. But it'll definitely go down. I think it'll definitely go down. It'll definitely go down. I think it'll definitely go down.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know, because I think it's all about creating a story.
Yeah.
And bro, I feel like they're going to create the story of, can Messi get them to the playoffs? Because
is it possible? Do you know if it's possible?
I'm going to tune in and see, like,
is it possible?
So that's going to be a good story for sure.
But what I'm saying is, what about the other teams though when they play? Not when they play. I'm saying when they. I'm tune into when Inter Miami plays, but I'm definitely not going to. Yeah, anybody else?
Definitely not anybody else.
So that's what I'm saying. That I think that all the people that are onboarded right now for Leagues Cup to watch Messi. They're not going to, maybe they're trying to see how do we move the most people from this like surplus of people that onboarded, right, to watch Messi and watch the Leagues Cup, to watch possibly either the MLS or the Mexican League, right? Like, I'm pretty sure that's what they're thinking, but I just don't think that the soccer is there. I mean, bro, you see how they're playing against Messi,
it's
other
so
teams,
bad.
right? And dude, it's just bad. It is bad. The skill level is just not there. Yeah. So I definitely don't think that I'm not gonna watch.
Yeah, as a new viewer, you're not thinking, "Damn, let me watch Charlotte." Yeah. You watch that game and you just think, "Oh, this team's ass." Yeah. Who did they play before? Miami.
Think, "Oh, this team's ass."
Yeah. No, FC Dallas. FC Dallas wasn't bad.
No, they were actually pretty good.
They did. So, you know, you watch that as a viewer and you do think, hey, FC Dallas is kind of good. But then, you know, I think you just need to see better performance. And that's what I was telling Isaac. I think all of these teams, every single player has a fucking amazing opportunity to play against Messi, because you know if you do something against Messi, bro, your name's going to be out there, you know? Mm-hmm. And I don't think a lot of players are capitalizing on that moment. I think a lot of players are I sound like I'm talking shit here. I'm sure they're giving it their all, and I'm sure they're going 100%. But just from what I see, I do feel that a lot of these players are just in awe and putting Messi on that pedestal. And I just haven't seen someone go hard at him, bro. I want to see someone fucking tackle his ass, bro. I want to see someone fucking tackle his ass. No?
No, I want to see that too. I want to see that too. But it's just sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it really just comes down to the skill level, bro. Like when you can't catch up to him, when he just dribbles past you like it's nothing, how much can you do, bro? Like seriously, when they show the replays of how he dribbles past players, the way that he analyzes the field and he sees those open holes, he makes players look like shit. He makes entire teams' defense look like shit. And it's you've said, right, dude, how is he scoring in front of the 6? How is he in the 6 and scoring? But when you look at the replay and how when he's running towards the box, he's just analyzing the field and seeing the holes and then making that run. It's like, bro, as a defender, you're just not at that level. So it does make them look like shit. It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I just want to see a team give a better performance. I don't think I've seen a team give a great performance against Miami other than FC Dallas, but then they just fucked it all up. You know, that own goal, bro, was hilarious, bro. That own goal was hilarious.
That was such a good header.
So we'll see if they get tested. I think LAFC will be a good team to play against. You know, Vela. I think they have a good team. I don't know any of their players, but from what they're the champions. Yeah. They're the champions. So, if they go against them, I think if they go against Monterrey, I think that will be. I don't think Monterrey is a crazy team. They just got a new coach. I don't know if you guys know who Canales is.
Canales, no.
Damn. But that's their new signee. He played for Real Betis, and he's like he's a very, very good player, Sergio Canales, and so they just hired him. His star player, and so he scored the PK against Tigres in the last minute in the previous game to make it to the game tonight. He's their new player. So having someone like Sergio Canales who has played against Messi, that's gonna be a good match if Monterrey does play Miami in that final. We have to go see Messi if they play. Okay,
well, they said they would play here, right?
Yeah, they will play here if it's LAFC. Are you gonna drop $700 on these tickets?
Yes.
Choyas, are you gonna drop $700 on these tickets? Drop $700 on these tickets.
I think I would.
Messi, dude, you don't.
All right,
the opportunity to watch Messi, 1,000, and then what are the options for the teams?
It's gonna be LAFC Miami.
But didn't you say Monterrey?
Yeah, but Monterrey wouldn't play here. They'd play in Miami.
Oh, okay.
The final is LAFC.
1,000.
1,000. Do you pay 1,000?
Maybe.
Choyas?
Maybe. Okay. And 1,000 is a good seat?
1,000 is...
It depends. Like if 1,000 gets me like a good seat.
Mid. You're not at the top. You're mid. Solid seat.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Damn, bro, I want to see the price.
Would you?
I'm not the most invested.
Yeah, that's the thing. That I would drop it if you guys are like, we'll go as a group. I won't drop 1,000 if I go by myself.
Yeah. I would think about it. I think anything 500 and below, I'd go.
Oh yeah.
I think that would be a steal, but I think you're at maybe outside.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm willing to pay. That's what I'm willing to pay.
What I'm taking into consideration is before, the only way that you could have seen him was pretty much if you went somewhere to go see him, like outside the US. So like I feel like
you're just you take it more as in fuck, this is my only opportunity.
Yeah, bro. And I mean, it's Messi. Like, this is who I would consider. He's my GOAT in soccer. He's my GOAT, like, at least. And yeah, dude, I just feel like
You don't get to see him.
kind of sad if
You don't get to see him.
if at the end I just say like, yeah.
Logan Paul, Jake Paul. How are you guys feeling about that? I know we all saw that last episode. I've made a couple of predictions on to Isaac, and I've told him Mike Malak, co-host of Impulsive, I don't think he's there for more than 6 months. I don't think he's there for more than a year. I think maybe I wouldn't be surprised if he's there for 6 months.
Oh,
And so I do think I called Georgienko.
He did.
I called Georgienko.
I could have called that.
Okay. Easier to say. I made the call. Did you make the call? Did you tell someone, hey, Georgienko's going to be out?
No, I did not make the call, but I always told myself, I don't like this guy on the podcast.
You don't like George.
You didn't like him on the podcast.
See, that's different.
Wow,
That's different. That's different.
I didn't like him, bro.
That's different.
I always thought he didn't fit. I don't know why. I always just thought like he just didn't fit.
Yeah, he didn't fit, but I liked him. I liked what he brought. Yeah, I liked his perspective, but he didn't fit. And yeah, but that's a different one for sure.
Yeah, that is.
Max did say, dude, I don't think that George is going to last there. I think he's going to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, bro. There's something about him that I honestly, personally, just didn't really vibe with. Like he seems like a great person.
Yeah.
Obviously, but like I just didn't find him like funny, or I don't know. I just didn't feel like he brought the same energy as Mike and Logan.
I used to not like him. I used to not like his content, not him. I used to not like his content, and I never really watched it. But once he did join Impulsive, I did think he brought in a lot of good perspective, different perspective. And he also talked a lot about God, which I did like that he was spreading. Because Logan and Mike aren't doing that. They're doing the complete opposite. And so I did like that. I did feel that Impulsive is such a big podcast. And I do feel that God's presence was there, and now it's not.
yeah, it's gone for sure.
Does it make the podcast worse, in your opinion, then?
I don't think it makes the podcast worse, but I would always love that message of God, which George was doing. He was spreading that message of God all the time. I think that was good because I feel that a lot of the viewers from Impulsive are people who, I mean, they like Mike and Logan for who they are, and they spread a lot of that degeneracy type of lifestyle, and especially Mike. And I do feel that there is a lot of greed there, a lot of fame, and just a lot of the things that side with the devil, I guess you could say. And so I love that George was the counter, but I did see how they would not be able to coexist. And so now I'm making the call. Mike Malak, no more. Clip this. Shorts, TikTok. Mike Malak doesn't make it on Impulsive for more than a year. It's August 11th, so 2023. He won't be there by August 11th, 2024. You guys can clip that. We'll be viral.
What do you think of the latest episode?
Whoa, wait. Hold up. You're saying no?
I don't agree with you. Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
I just don't see that. Why? I just don't see why you think that. Like, I don't see an issue.
Okay, you can expand on it.
Can I expand on it? Okay, perfect. I do feel that I watched his episode with Bradley Martin. I don't know if do you watch Bradley Martin? They did talk a little bit about George.
I think I only saw that.
That clip. I skipped through the podcast, but I think just like George, I feel like George didn't feel like he could spread his whole self in that podcast, and I do feel that Mike feels the same way. I do feel, even though he's still, at the end of the day, it's not his, it's Logan's, and Logan makes the call, and I think it's just gonna get to that point where, and Mike is a little bit more extreme. Logan Paul tries to keep it more more friendly, you know, because he has an image to protect, him being in the WWE, him trying to be a boxer, him trying to, you know, be very brand friendly. Mike is not necessarily like that. And I do feel that he has to hold back a lot. But I do think he can play the role very well, and I think he loves Logan. And I think they both make a good team, but I do feel that at some point... and he also mentioned how apparently they talk maybe 2 or 3 times a month.
Yeah, I heard that.
You heard that?
Can I add something?
Yeah.
I also feel that Logan, if you read the comments on a lot of impulsive episodes that go viral, a lot of people don't side with him. They always side with either Mike, George. Back then, Jake, other guests, right? And because George and Mike are also popular and they have other friends, other people that surrounds them, they go on other podcasts. I feel like all the time people are nudging them. Like, hey, I think you should start your podcast. You know, I feel like Logan has that energy of, maybe you shouldn't be with them. Like, maybe you should do your own thing. Because that's what they were advising George. They were. I think that it's just like, hey, bro, you don't fit there. Like, you want to talk about God. You want to express yourself fully. Maybe you should do your own thing. You know, I think you'll be successful. And I think they're doing that too with Mike. I think Mike has a deeper connection with Logan, and maybe he is able to tame it, right? Mm-hmm. That feeling of wanting to do something for himself and just kind of like forget about what Logan did for him. I think he tames it a little bit better. But at the same time, what I think is, I also feel like Mike is also not the youngest, right? I think at some point he also approached that age where he is mentioned several times where he's worked so hard. He tries to take it a little bit more chill. I think he's going to get to that age where he thinks, fuck, do I want a family? Do I want to settle down? And for him to start his own venture on his own episode, I do think that maybe he'll approach that age where he thinks, maybe I'll just be like in the shadow of Logan, or just working with Logan because he handles most things. He still works pretty hard, but it's a different story when you go and do your own thing versus, oh, I'm with Logan and, you know, he's the main one and I'm just kind of like tagging along for the ride. I think because of his age, he might also consider, I'm not going to do my own thing because it's too much work. I don't know.
Those are all good points. I can't argue against any of them, to be honest. But the only thing I stand on is the fact that, to me, they just seem like they just click. And they just seem like great friends. And honestly, I don't know, that thought has never actually crossed my mind.
Wow, That's wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think I look a little bit more in between the lines of the whole situation. I do consume his content. You know, do you ever watch The Night Shift?
I've watched it. I don't keep up with it, but I have watched it.
I don't watch it super consistent, but I will go through my little phases, you know.
He's funny. Yeah, he's cool.
So I've seen a little bit more of his content. That's why I kind of had this thought and this idea and this call. The last thing with Logan Jake, that's also a very interesting situation. This morning, Choyas, me and Isaac got in a little tussle.
Tussle.
I hit him with a, hey, I think you debate like Logan.
Well, give some context, because we started talking about how they behave towards each other, right?
Yeah, we're talking about that, yeah.
And we were saying, dude, did you see how most people sided with Jake, right? And we started talking about, yeah, bro, we both felt that, dude, Logan just... it sometimes can be a little bit selfish, right? When it's convenient for him, he plays the card of, but we're brothers. When it's not convenient to him.
Which is what they were saying, right? Because they have this beef of
Tate's eyes in this, right? Involved in this.
Right. And, you know, Logan, Jake's team didn't let Logan advertise Prime at his fight.
Yeah.
And so that's why he was playing that card of like, why didn't you let me? I'm your brother. But then like he'll team up with KSI, which is Jake's enemy, and at that point Logan says it's business, you know.
So that's
We were in agreement with that.
we were in agreement. So I was vibing with Max, you know, like I'm vibing with him.
Having breakfast, you know,
And then
early morning.
and then he slips the card of I think you were like Logan in that moment.
No, listen. Let's say how it was. I think you debate like Logan.
Well, same thing. You were Logan in that moment. Same thing.
I think you debate like Logan. I just feel in certain situations Isaac has been in that situation where do we really want to go?
Yeah.
Behind closed doors.
Yeah, I just think there's some situations where Isaac has played those cards, and I think sometimes he perceives the world in his own reality and what benefits him. I don't think it happens often. But I have felt it before and multiple times. And I don't think it happens anymore. And I'm always cool just taking that backseat and just being like, you know what, whatever. I'm cool with it. I'm not gonna, you know. Here's my posture. I don't know if you would agree with this. I think we both do it, but I always think about the team. And I always think about, I'm not gonna let this little small thing affect our friendship and our business relationship. Because I'm always thinking, you know, ahead, and I know you're like that too, but sometimes I do take that posture, and I'm not afraid of taking the L in some of these debates, or maybe not fully getting my way. So that's just how I feel. But then we got into that little tussle, because then, you know, I kind of resurfaced the conversation again, and Isaac wanted to, you know, he didn't want to just let that comment slip, you know.
Well, it's because we're getting deep into it, and if you're telling me, right, that I was Logan in that scenario when everyone's bashing Logan, I just take a little bit personal, right? Because I'm like, wait.
Just want to make sure.
What do you mean? I was just like, wait. What do you mean? I thought we were vibing. I thought we were on the same page.
We were good, but I just wanted to make a point.
He just tells me he doesn't want to talk about it, and I'm like, whoa, like you can't just bring it up like that and then leave me hanging.
I didn't want to go back to the same argument,
but I'll say this because I've thought about it all day, right? I've analyzed it, and I do know that I'm very protective of my space. I'm very protective of my and my energy, and I'm very disciplined in the sense that if you mess with my lifestyle, I get very defensive, right? And I do demand like a level of respect in like my living space, right? The things that I do. But I do know that, and I just ask people for that. Like, if you respect me, right, I'll respect you and we'll be good, right? And there's been instances where I think like Max believes that we're super cool. But I think that sometimes like in my head, the respect that I deserve, he just thinks that, oh, we're brothers and he'll be cool with it, right? And I'm just like, we are, but I just demand a different level of respect.
And the thing is that there's different expectations of respect, and I think I respect them. Yeah, like I do think I take levels, but then he does demand an extra level, and I'm just like, bro, you don't even give me that level. And so that's why it just kind of gets that. But I don't mind him not giving me that level of respect. And so that's where it just kind of gets a little muddy.
Yeah, and
that's why we're also breaking up. We're not going to make it.
But the thing that I told him, and this is something that I will vouch for him. He thinks for the team.
I do.
Right? Like he always thinks of the team. Whereas for me, sometimes I will deviate and I will do my own thing, right?
You will.
And I think that Max is always like, yeah, like, what do we do together? How do we do this? But ultimately, I think that I do that not in replacement of the things that I do for the team, but as an extra layer of like the demand that I place on myself, right? Because, dude, like anything for the team, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I've been putting in the work for everyone, but I just add that extra layer of on top of that, I'm going to do things for myself. But at the end of the day, I told them, because I do want to touch on this, since we're on the topic of Jake and Logan, I just watched a video on Shorts where they show how Logan and Jake as brothers, they have that beef going on, and then they put a video of Tate and Tristan, the brothers, right? And it's that video where they had an emergency meeting, and they said,
Do you watch Tate content?
I do. I like to watch his interviews.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say like I watch solely him, like, or like content that he releases, if that makes sense.
Got it.
yeah. And when they when they got out of jail, they were telling each other, dude, if I wasn't in there with you, like, I wouldn't have been able to make it happen. If you go back in there, they were talking to each other. They were like, if you go back in there, I'll go back in there with you. And they like shook hands, right? So that difference, right? That contrast of like that Jake and Logan. And I told Max earlier that sometimes I do feel like, because Max is so competitive and he's always trying to one up me, right? You were here on that episode where he was trying to box me. Obviously, he didn't come through with that.
No.
Hold up, chill. Don't let us think. Hold on. Let me just finish my story. Just let me finish my story.
He's gonna slip that comment and expect me to respond now. Jeez.
You can take it after this. I told Max, because you're so competitive with me, right? I've always been like, dude, okay, let's compete, but I'm not like teasing him all the time and like, you know, the way that he does it. And because he does that, it creates that beef like Jake and Logan. And for me, it's like, dude, I'm on that Tristan Tate vibe where it's like, let's fight other people. Like, you and I, like, why are we going to put ourselves in that situation where it can slip into like gray areas? And instead, I'm like, dude, let's fight other people. But I get it, you know? He tells me, well, I just want to keep that dog in you, which it has helped me, right? To like continue. Because when he tells me, dude, I want to fight you, right? I'm like, all right, I'll start training, right? But at the same time, I feel like it's a slippery slope because it does create that like tension, right? And that's where I tell him, we're like, okay, maybe I debate like Logan sometimes and I do think of myself, but you also create that tension between us at times where it's like, you're trying to one-up me all the time.
Yeah, I guess in regards to that comment of obviously, I didn't fight you. I didn't. I haven't trained for it. There's many reasons for that. And Isaac knows. Isaac knows that sometimes in life, you are feeling a certain wave, and then all of a sudden it switches.
Well, but it's like, dude, you're gonna call me out on an episode and say I can beat Isaac's ass, bro. My sole goal is to kick Isaac's ass, and then put me in that mindset of like, fuck, bro, like, you really want to do this? Okay, and then chirps, like, you know, like, nothing.
But again, it was the wave that I was on.
You don't feel that way anymore.
I mean, I still want to. Yeah, I'm not feeling that fire of I want to fuck him up. I'm not feeling that fire. I'm not feeling it. But I definitely would fight him. And I definitely want to fight people. And I definitely want to get trained and stuff like that. But I'm just at a different wave right now. I'm at a different wavelength. And Isaac knows this. Isaac has we've all gone through a lot of different waves. And you know, I remember when, for example, once you told me that you were gonna train for this, I think it was a marathon, and you didn't follow through with it.
But I'm not talking shit to you.
No.
That's my main
I
understand.
But I understand
the whole wave concept.
Yeah. So it's, you know, and the thing is that I'll fight you for sure. But obviously, this isn't something that happens overnight, you know? It's something that you have to, you know, train for.
And that's the difference, that I don't want to fight you. You see what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm saying. I'm not in that mindset anymore of I want to fuck you up. That's what I just said that, right? I just said that I'm not in that mindset of anymore of like I want to fuck you up. But I think, you know, for example, when we were sparring, I think that helped us. I think that was good for us.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that just testing our ability so that we could fuck other people, I think that's helpful. It kind of what we did with pool, right? We play and we compete with each other to make each other better, and then we go out there to the bungalow and fuck people up.
I'm not saying competing with each other is wrong. I'm saying sometimes your approach
right.
comes off as you put me in that mindset of, all right, like I have to do my best. Like I have to really compete.
And that's
it creates
good,
that
right?
tension between us that I think that's where Jake and Logan take it sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. Like between like brothers, between like really good friends.
Yeah.
I just don't like that tension. And that's where you start to see like, you mentioned, dude, I feel like the perfect storm is brewing for Jake and Logan to fight. Right.
Yeah.
And there are times where Jake and Logan have demonstrated like, okay, we're not gonna fight this, and Jake said, because I know that when I've lost a fight before against Tommy Fury, and I went through that feeling of like losing, and it's not a good feeling. And if him and I go at it, and one of us loses, right? We're going to go through, maybe not to the same scale. We don't have people watching, but one of us will go through that. And I think that it will leave some sort of like resentment where I'm like, dude, it's just not the healthiest for our friendship.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, if you come at me from like the right angle, one example is like, we're about to go lift, right? He's like, but like, are you lifting big? Because I'm only lifting.
Yeah.
And then we go to the kitchen. Because I'm like, bro, like this is what I'm talking about. And then in the kitchen, he's like, well, I was just trying to know, like, hey, what are you trying to do at the gym? Are you lifting heavy or not? Right? And I'm like, why didn't you ask me like that? Why did you have to come at me like? So I'm like, dude, it's okay. We can compete against each other, but don't like get the dog out of me on you. Sometimes like I guess you can, but just find that balance,
And I get what you're saying, bro. And I think we've both taken approaches at making our relationship as healthy as possible. I've taken my also, there's moments where I haven't felt good the way you've treated me, and I've expressed that to you. So I think it's all about that in relationships, family, boyfriend, girlfriend, any type of relationship, partnerships, to express those things that you don't like. So then you can make the relationship better, Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, that's what me and Isaac have always been good at, is communicating with each other. And we both have that mindset also of taking it for the team and just thinking about how we're always better together than being separate. So I think we've always taken that approach, and I think this is just you expressing this to me now. I think it's just helping me to realize that, and I kind of had already learned from, because we had already spoken about this.
Yeah.
When I would come to you and I would punch you. Yeah. And I would like try to get you going, and I stopped that, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the good thing also about our relationship, is that when we tell something to each other, it pretty much stops. Not overnight, but But for example, when that happened, I would probably hit you, and then I'd be like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Let me stop right away, and then I didn't do that more than 5 times, and then ever since then I haven't done that. So I think that's very important, and I think me and Isaac have one of the even when I would talk to my mom, I would put my relationship with Isaac as an example on how to have relationships, because I just feel that at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, I think in relationships, is personal development. And that's what me and Isaac are all about, is doing personal development. Because when I get in a relationship with someone, I like to ask them, well, what are you doing to better yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're gonna go through your shit, we're gonna go through our shit. What's your backbone? What is helping you go through this shit? Because if you go through shit and you're not doing anything to help yourself, then I'm gonna have to help you. And then if we go through something, and if you're just not maturing, if you're not growing, then it's just gonna be hard to go through those obstacles and challenges in life. And again, I think that's the reason why me and Isaac have been doing pretty well, because we both just focus a lot on personal development.
For example, I was on a call with my friend, and he was telling me about he was talking about business and possibly buying a business. And he even told me, because he's a really good friend, and he told me like, bro, like I could see you and me doing something. Like we would just have to have that bond. And the first thing that I thought of was, yeah, bro. I mean, I just look at it like Isaac and Max. Like their bond is just like crazy tight, and like I see it all the time when I come. You know, just the way you guys communicate. Obviously, like how you just did right now, where you guys have a slight problem, you talk about it, and I mean, it might get a little heated and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you work it out.
The thing that I just try to prevent, bro, is that I just don't want people now or in the future to look at our friendship, relationship, the way that I look at Jake's and Logan's, where I'm like, at any point, these two are going to go to battle together. Like, they just have that tension. I can feel it, and they're going to split up. Like, I just don't want people to have that feeling about us. That,
well, you don't want to have that feeling between us.
Yeah,
because
ultimately, at the end of the day,
it could care less about what people think, right?
Well, that's a popular saying, but I care about what people think, right? Like,
but it's like, what if they think that, but it's not accurate?
Well, but usually, whatever, yeah, there could be some misinterpretation for sure. But the way that I see Jake's and Logan's, I don't think I'm, misinterpreting it.
Yeah.
I think that there's definitely beef in that relationship and tension, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't want people to see that.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe like, they'll, like Choy just said right now, that when he thinks about, when he thought about us, because he says, well, you guys have a good bond, like that's good, right?
Right.
But I don't want it to get to a point where even Choyas is like, damn, like, I don't know how long like Max and Isaac are going to last, right? And that's the thing that I don't want. Ultimately, obviously, not the tension between us,
right,
but then that it spreads to like people being able to see that in camera, people being able to see that in person. And that's just like my greatest fear, because I obviously never want to have that beef with you. And I do follow the tenets of Tate.
The 30 tenants. Yeah, I get what you're saying. But that's my whole point, which is I do feel that we are going in the right direction, and we continue to get thrown outside. We continue to go through different obstacles, but I mean, my point has always been, let's keep this together. Especially when I saw Tate talk about how they still live together. That is something that I saw with Isaac, where I just do feel that in terms of business and just going through life, living with someone like Isaac is very beneficial. So I do see a world in where I just live with him. I think that, for example, Diego Dreyfus, right? Mm-hmm. He's another person that I look up to. He just lived with his Nico, which was his videographer, but also partner. And so I see how these people live that I look up to, and I could see me living with Isaac for a very long time. And so that's why I've always kind of kept that. I always like to tone it down and just be like, all right, let me just think about the team. But yeah, let's cut that out. No, but let's move on to the last subject that kind of correlates with this whole beef. I think everybody's wanting to beef, bro. I think everybody wants to fuck people up, so you can't blame me, Isaac. Everybody wants to fuck someone up, and the battle right now is Elon versus Marky.
Bro, that's crazy. I didn't think they were gonna make it happen for real.
I didn't think so either. So what's going on? Yeah, so happening. Elon Musk is gonna do, what is it? MMA?
Yeah, MMA.
It's official.
Yeah, MMA.
It's
versus Mark Zuckerberg, aka Marky.
All proceedings will go to a charity. It's gonna be hosted in Italy, and it'll be streamed on Meta.
On X and Meta.
On X and Meta.
Like, I think what happened, this is what I know, so this is not what happened, but what I know is that Lex Friedman had Mark Zuckerberg on his podcast and they talked about that MMA, and then is it MMA or jiu-jitsu, or is it the same thing? Fuck, I'm stupid.
Jiu-jitsu. I don't know.
But it's that scene, right? And then I don't know. No, he didn't have Elon, but I know that the conversation, like Lex knew that Elon did it. I think Elon tweeted at Lex something about that. Yeah, and that's what I know. That's when I started getting conscious of the situation, and then it just kind of built up from there, where it was known that they both trained that that area, and someone was just saying, teasing them, I think y'all should fight, y'all should put each other to the test, and I think they grabbed onto it and now are gonna make it happen.
That's so, like, I heard the rumors, I just didn't know it was official. Like, I didn't know it was like actually gonna happen for sure. That's what
It just kind of happened, right?
Yeah, I think they just made it official not
Today.
too long ago. But I was seeing Lex.
The build-up?
Yeah, the build-up, and Lex has been training with both of them, with both Mark.
Okay,
people
so
were even like, bro, how do you become friends with like two of the most successful people and like train them both? Yeah. It's kind of crazy. But I did see the build-up, and they just recently made it official. But I wanted to ask you guys, dude, how much of an impact did Logan, right, KSI, starting those matches between, like, you don't have to be a boxer, as long as you have influence, just start a match with somebody. How much influence did they have?
Dude, I think a lot. I think it's crazy, man. Yeah, I think, again, that's kind of why I started. Everybody wants to beef with each other. I think everybody has seen that it's all about entertainment. I started to see it in soccer too, you know, with Cristiano going to Saudi Arabia. Obviously they're getting retired and that's the normal cycle, but I do feel that it kind of gets to a point where the money starts to become very like important, and you know, Messi thinks, let me just go to the MLS, I'll make more money. And I think Mane went to Saudi Arabia too, right? So, and isn't he still in a good condition?
Oh yeah.
So I just started to think, you know, at what point will it just be, I mean, obviously it already is money driven, a lot of what people do, but even more, you know, where it doesn't even matter the competition or the skill, but just the attention. It was the attention. Elon, Mark, you know, they could break through the simulation.
Bro, that's massive.
They could break through the simulation.
Yeah, I think they had a huge impact, bro. Like, I still remember KSI, because I don't know if you guys remember or not, because I followed KSI for a long time. So like KSI first did like a match with this one guy, and then that's when he called Joe. Yeah, I forget his last name.
Weller?
Yeah, that's what it was, Joe Weller. And then he called out Logan, and that's how that all started. And then like Logan and Jake kind of like grabbed onto that, and I would say probably even like took it further, Jake. But bro, it's massive. Like it just proves, I think, that.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, it doesn't matter anymore. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, like
it doesn't matter anymore.
Like, we just know it's gonna be entertaining. We wanted to see, like, Jake Paul created the perfect persona in that. I think, I don't know if he said it in the podcast in Impulsive, or I heard someone say it where they're like, a lot of people don't watch Jake Paul because they want to see him win. Like, they watch Jake Paul fight because they want to see him lose. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like a lot of people do that. Like, they just want to see someone get.
Well, I sort of disagree with we don't care about the skill. I mean, maybe some people, right, or maybe you guys feel it. But for example, in my case, right, the Nate Diaz Jake Paul fight, when I started to see that Jake was just fighting people that had no skill, I lost interest. Like, I didn't. You asked me, right, when you got here, did you guys watch the Jake Paul fight? And I was like, no. And that's because I even told Max, dude, it just seems like when I look at Nate, bro, and the press conference and the way that he looks, I'm like, I was surprised he even lasted that long, right? But probably because of his experience in fighting and all the hits that he took, he was just able to take a lot of hits, which is something that Jake was saying. But the way that he looked, I was just like, bruh. And I understand the whole process of you need a fight. You don't fight the best right off the get-go. Yeah. But at the same time, it just didn't bring me back in. And I think that where we're going to get to is, yeah, people will be entertained and they'll be hyped for the first time, right? if Mark and Zuck, right, are like complete ass and they don't really entertain as far as like skill, right? Because at the end of the day, these things are skill based, right? They're entertaining, but you make it entertaining based on your skill too. Like if it's a shitty match, right? Like in soccer, in the Leagues Cup, or in boxing, MMA, whatever, if the skill's not there, maybe just me, I'm sure there's a big pool of people who also just appreciate the skill and want to see a good match, but you're not going to have longevity in continuing to do that if you just fight, poor opponents. And I think that's part of the reason why also Jake Paul said, well, let me fight Tommy Fury. So I give the people what they actually want because they want me to fight someone good and they want to see a good match. But if he just keeps fighting shitty ass people, it's not going to have longevity.
I disagree with that a little. And I think it goes back to that whole chart, like if you think about this little chart right here, and most of the masses lie in the middle, right? So that's where like most of the attention is. So if you're ass, you're here, right? And it's like small percentage. No one's gonna care about that. If you're too good, the masses won't be able to appreciate how good. When you perfect something so good, it also loses its touch a little bit because less people appreciate it. People don't know. For example, me as a new viewer to boxing, when I was watching Jake Paul against Deji, you saw those fights, right? Against Gibb, you saw that one, right?
No, not that one.
What was
I know
the other
he
one?
fought, but I saw
the chubby guy, the MMA guy too. The MMA guy too. That's how irrelevant he is.
Yeah.
But you watched that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to, in that moment, you felt like more in the masses of like, the attention and the entertainment.
Yeah.
And it's where it captures the most. But then, depending on how far you want to take it, then you go down the ladder and it gets more specialized and you lose people there because, not many people are willing to take it to that point where, I really want to start training for boxing and I really want to get in a fight, and so I do think that the most attention lies in the middle with the masses, and they're not going to be too experts at a situation, but I do feel that you are kind of in that situation now, where you can appreciate it a little bit more and it loses your interest. But yeah, something, for example, Elon and Mark, you don't have to be an expert to want to watch that.
Yeah.
Because that just like captures right in the middle of, we're just gonna get everybody.
That's a glitch in the Matrix.
I don't give a fuck about the skill or anything. I just want to see Elon against fucking Mark.
I wonder if that will open up the gates to other. What I am interested about is seeing how other billionaires, multimillionaires,
Jeff?
CEOs, right, perceive this, and if they start to become more open to the entertainment aspect of things, dude, because that's essentially what they're doing. Is just, dude, let's just go for the entertainment. Let's just humanize ourselves. Let's do something good. I mean, at least they're doing it for charity, right?
Yeah.
Like all the money will be donated. I think it's cancer or the charity, but yeah, everyone wants beef.
Everybody wants beef. Let's start wrapping it up.
Yeah.
Everybody wants beef.
We can't move
Elon,
on.
right? Elon. I'm rooting for Elon.
Really?
Yeah. I think he's gonna win. He's got a big body. He has a big body, and I think he has more of a dog in him. I don't think Mark. I don't think he's the dog. I think he has a weaker body, and then I also want Elon to win.
I think Mark will win. If this is a simulation, Elon will win.
But you think Mark wins?
I want Elon. I'm on the same page. I don't want Elon to win, but I think Mark might win. I just think that Elon, even though he has a big body, I think that he looks a little bit like clunky, bro. Yeah. He looks a little bit like his body needs a good lubrication, a good stretching, like.
Yeah. He's too unorthodox.
Yeah, dude. I think he spends too much time working, dude.
Yeah.
And Mark is definitely out there surfing.
He's a little bit more slim.
Yeah. So we'll see. That'll be exciting.
I do want to say one last thing. Are you guys done?
Yeah.
I do want to say one last thing. I don't think I've had something like this affect me in a minute. I usually, when things like this happen, I kind of tend to tune out. But you guys heard what happened in Maui with the wildfires. And it has been something that I've been keeping up with. And it has been, me and Isaac visited Maui back in 2019. It was my favorite island out of all of the islands down in Hawaii. I actually had just booked a trip down to Maui about a week ago, and I'm planning, I don't know if I'm still gonna go, but I was planning to go end of September. So it's crazy that this wildfire happened in Maui, absolutely destroyed a city in Lahaina. I'm sure everybody has heard, but it really did break my heart, bro. It really did break my heart. Usually I don't get too invested in these situations because I never really had a connection. But again, I loved Maui. That's why literally, like, I decided to go back to Maui. Like, I had to pick one island. I picked Maui. It's such a magical island. And then also just knowing how, like, the images that I saw of the city completely burned down and devastated, it is literally crazy that it's just gone to ashes. And obviously people had to be jumping in the water to save themselves. You know, I think I searched it up, but 13,000 people live there. So 13,000 people essentially lost their homes, businesses. And yeah, it was just very heartbreaking to see all of those images and see a part of the world that you really love to be affected like that. So definitely wanting to send my prayers out to the people in Maui. I donated to, if we could link this below, I did donate to a charity that is giving the money directly to the victims of the fire. It's called Aloha United Way. And so we'll link that below in case anybody wants to donate the money. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's nice of you to say. And dude, it's crazy because obviously I knew that you were going there. You asked me if I wanted to go, and I do have beautiful memories of Maui too. When you told me you were going to Maui, I felt the same way, that it was my favorite island that we visited, and I had very vivid memories because we camped right there in Lahaina.
They stole our tent.
They stole our tent, and we couldn't sleep there anymore. But it was beautiful, dude. Where we were, it was just beautiful. I was so upset that they stole our tent because I could just imagine waking up in that next to the ocean like that. And we watched the sunset there by the beach. It was just magical.
Oh yeah. And then we also watched the sunrise there on the volcano.
Yeah, and we also watched a sunrise.
Rotohana.
And dude, it was just beautiful, and it sucks that something like this would happen. And I saw a TikTok and I sent it to Max. Right, I don't know if you had seen it before, or if that was the first time
I had seen it. Yeah.
And I sent it to Max, and I was like, bro, like, you know, immediately I felt bad, but I also thought about Max's plans, and I was like, dude, this has to affect one way or another. But that sucks. May everything go well with the recovery for these people and for the city. Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. Love y'all. This is episode what?
13.
Let's go.
Thank you, Choyas, for coming over, bro. It was nice.
Tell everyone
Choyas for coming over, bro. Yeah.
Maybe in the future, a little collab. Choyas Gaming and H&D podcast. Choyas Gaming.
Somehow, some way. All right, guys. Make sure you subscribe. Give it a like, comment, reach out to us. Follow Choyas on Choyas Gaming on YouTube. Push him, encourage him, give him some love so he can post more. All right. Peace.
See ya.